Hey all, and welcome to episode 23 of the Unseen Strands podcast, a crochet and fiber arts related podcast where I, your host Mo, am visually impaired and will be sharing with you the strands of the rest of my life. I come to you from central Iowa, where I live with my 4 boys, my husband, our 2 cats, and our dog. And I'd like to say welcome back to any of our returning viewers and a hearty welcome to any new viewers this week. Now, I'm not exactly a weekly podcast, but you'll hear me say week just because it's, I guess, more of a habit than anything else. And I will apologize up front. This is probably going to be kind of a longer episode because, yeah, I have a lot to share. As the title suggests, I have crafting ADD at the moment. And there's just keeps getting things added to the list. So anyways, let's get started. I did record yesterday and I was like off here the entire episode. So it didn't really work, and I found out that my camera does have a time limit because it did shut off. But luckily I heard it shut off and I was like letting the dog back in, so it didn't really disrupt anything. But yeah, so anyways, let's move on. I'm going to go by craft this time instead of, your general finished objects, widths and things, because I think it'll just be easier, and that way if I have to re-record something, I won't have to pull everything back out again. Because that's just how life has been lately. And yeah, there will be probably a lengthy kind of life segment in this one because I have some kind of fun things to share with you. But anyways, like I said, let's move on to our finished object. Yay! I have 2 socks. Now, these were finished on the last day of October so that I could use them for the Socktober cowl. And like I mentioned on Instagram, my one stretchy bind off needs a little work. But I did. The second one I did come out better. I did get probably another 1.5 inches, if not a little more than that. As you can see, the one in front is the smaller of the 2, and then this one is a little bit bigger. But these were in the color Meet Me by the Mistletoe, which is a Leading Men Fiber Arts colorway, and they are using the pattern by Caroline Rodriguez, who is the Mind and Muse podcaster. And this is the My Sweet Socks pattern, and it does have a cupcake pattern. See if I can, I'm sure I can't get this to show for you guys. But let's see. This would be a cupcake, just kind of in between my fingers there. You've got your cake, muffin tin, or whatever, your cupcake, and then your frosting is this, and then that's of course the air in between so you can see it. But that's just kind of the pattern. And yeah, these I did with I used both a 3.5 millimeter needles, which are my Dream interchangeable tips, and a 3.5, which is an E hook, and that is out of my Yarnology hooks. But yeah, so I have my 2, and if you were on Instagram, you saw my littles modeling this. Zane had it on one foot and Leo had it on the other foot, and they sat next to each other in the couch, and they thought they were absolutely adorable, which, they were. But what it was Zane came up to me and was trying to put it on, and then Leo went and found the other sock, because they had knocked them off the couch, because they were sitting on the couch back there, so that I could grab them when I was going to record with you. And they had found them and knocked one off, and I couldn't find it, honestly, because we went on a little, I guess, vacation over the weekend, last weekend, and so I know there was only one sock up there at that time, and I really hadn't looked for the other one until that, I think it might have been Tuesday, and then they were sitting there, and at least they found it for me, because usually when they lose things, it's gone for good. So really like these. They fit really well, and the cuff comes up a lot higher than all my other crocheted socks. So yeah, my husband wants me to play around with that because he would like his to come up higher, and that might just be I really knit a super long cuff for him, but I'd probably still go ahead and crochet the foot, because that you can make really close to your own measurements and make it fit really nice. And I think the crochet will wear a whole lot better than the knit. And that's just kind of a theory, but I mean, if you think about it, just the way that they, you know, work up, I think that the crochet foot will be a lot better. And of course, where you need the stretch is kind of in the cuff and stuff. So I'm hoping, and I would get up and show you these, but it'd be kind of hard in the space that I'm using. But yeah, they fit really, really well. And then, let's see, we'll do the bigger of the 2 crochets. I have 2 crochet whips currently. This is actually one I have been working on for a little bit, but I haven't shared with you. It is the Cherry Be Merry blanket that will be for Sam. It is just a chevron pattern, and it's, you know, basically one I've made up, but I'm sure I've read it somewhere because, you know, it's chevron, it's everywhere. But the pattern that I learned, and I think I learned it from one of my friends, and yeah, she wasn't my friend till middle school, even though we went to school together before that, but we didn't really know each other until middle school, which is just funny. But she taught me the chevron stitch, I think. Or was it just granny? I remember. But I had never done granny, and I had never done chevron until I met this one girl. And she was the only other girl who crocheted that I ever knew at that point. So yeah. But this is I believe I've done a 5 stitch up, a 3 in the center, and a 5 down. So the 3 is your increase, and then you skip 2 at the bottom. And so you get the nice little column of holes, but I really like that. And this is the exact same pattern that I did for Jeremy's, except for Jeremy's was in the snow cone stand colorway. And I have a whole nice long story about the Cherry Be Merry that I had to rely on Ravelry to help get me enough to make this entire blanket, but I got it all, and it's actually in my Star Wars bag, which is the bag I'm using for Sam's projects, that I got from Ella. And this is a box bottom, but of course you're not on a table, so you can't really tell, and I can't get it to sit straight. Well, there's a seam. The side seam. Anyways, yeah, so that's one of my bags from Ella. And it uses one of the stitch markers that I got from Colorings by Ellie, I think. I can always link that in the notes. And then, I guess this is my, what did I decide? When I recorded yesterday, like I was telling you about, because I did a little video, I'm not sure if I'm going to attach it to the end of this or not, but I kind of shared with you my over planning for a road trip. Because I know other people talk about it, but I actually shared with you how much stuff I packed with me. And I made sure to work on everything I took just a little bit. So it was like literally I had done this many stitches or something. But I actually worked on this while I was recording yesterday. So I think that, where did it go? The stitch marker is where I actually started yesterday. And so I don't think I did a whole row yesterday, did I? I don't know. And so yeah, I have just a basic progress keeper, and then that's my cute one, which is a dinosaur, because Sam is my little dinosaur, although Leo is quickly trying to take his place as my wild, rough, and loud child. But that is the chevron blanket for Sam. Then we have the project, and I would like to get that done by Christmas, but we'll see. We have this is the yarn. It's not as pretty as it was when I originally caked it. It looked really nice, and then it kind of fell apart. And I'm trying to kind of reball it, but I'm just kind of putting it into a ball instead of a cake around itself. But this is the Portal colorway. Why can't I think of the name? The cake is a lie. And I decided, I was trying a bunch of different things, I just didn't really like it, and so I decided I kind of do this, which I don't know how well the texture will come up on here, but it's kind of like a woven, sorry, things falling, it's kind of like a woven basket weave, And my husband gets the stitch markers, again by my Colo Rings by Ellie. He gets the pumpkin or jack-o'-lantern stitch marker, because that was the best one she had when I ordered them. That represented him. But what I've done is basically, I'm sure, again, this is probably something that is written down somewhere on the internet, but it is not something that I actually read when I worked this. But what I am doing is I am working a row of, well, each end is just half double crochet, and then I'm doing a 2 front post and then 2 back post alternating until I get to the end of the round. I don't even remember if I have an even number or not. And then the next row would do the same, so there's front post and the front post and back post and the back post. And then the next round I am alternating that, so where there was a front post there will be back post, and then where there are back posts there will be front posts. And so yeah, so every 2 rows basically I'm changing which is the front post and which is the back post stitches. But I'm hoping that this will be long enough for a cowl, especially if you fold it over. I think that should be good. I'm kind of a short-necked person, but my husband doesn't like a whole lot of stuff up and around his head, but he did like the cowls that I made last year, so that's kind of why we're going with this. He will not wear a hat because he's too vain about his hair. And he does not wear like sweaters or shirts, and I can't make him a vest because vests are shirts that the Chinese orphans forgot to sew the sleeves onto, or like he likes to say. He totally cracked my sister up with that one this last time we went and saw them, and I am using a H crochet hook for that project. Oh, and the yarn from this was from Jinx Yarn, who is no longer dyeing, and so this is a DK weight. I guess that's the other information you needed to know. So that is my, I think, crochet works in progress / finished objects. I do have some other things that are kind of in the dreamland state, but I'll get to that in its own little part. So let's move on to knitting, just because I guess crochet and knitting go together well. This one I am almost done with. I actually abandoned my other project so I could work on this, because I need to get this done before the 15th, because that is the Knit and Purl extended her pink along for breast cancer awareness till the 15th of this month. And I went downstairs right before we left. I think it was Thursday and we were leaving on Friday. And I went downstairs and I found this yarn. Isn't it beautiful? I don't have the full skein. I actually have 2 skeins, and this label got kind of beat up. So I don't know if you can tell at all I don't know which way the label goes either. So I'll just kind of spin it, and maybe if you can pick out information. And it does have a price tag. I did not buy this. I don't think that's a Goodwill tag. It was either a Goodwill yarn or, well, there's a couple tags. It was Goodwill or garage sale. I want to say it was a garage sale because I think I found it with some other stuff that I got at a garage sale that a person with, that had a bunch of yarn, but I wanted to make sure I only got stuff that had labels so I could tell what it was. But this was so nice, so soft, and I had 2 skeins of this color with a label. But yeah, so I am using, I forget what the pattern's called, it's like a honeycomb, and this yarn is really too fuzzy to really see the honeycomb pattern, and I don't know if I'm doing it very well. But it was like I want to say Malabrigo, just free pattern. And what you do is you basically are just knitting every other round and then doing either a purl or a purl with a slip purl for the next stitch, or a slip purl with a purl for the next stitch for the other 2 rounds. So you're just basically repeating that pattern for every 4 rounds. And then I am actually currently working on the last round. I think that I am going to do, because I basically want to make this as long as, or as wide as my black cat cowl that I was wearing around Halloween, and you know, just kind of wear. I did already put a twist. I know that's like a no-no to twist your knitting, but I wanted it to so it would fold here and not be all like bulky, and I didn't want the scoop here. I wanted it to, you know, have the V, like my shirt, which I'm not sure if you can quite see that, but I wanted it to have the V. So I did already put a twist in it, and yeah, I think this is getting to the width. I think they said to use a width of like 10 or 11 inches, but it has the nice like little roll, which I know there's ways to kind of work around that so it doesn't roll quite as much, because these first 4, well, it was 3 and then the first round of the repeat. So it's 4 rounds of knit that you start with, so it does roll. And so then you will do that on the other side, so again, that will also roll. Although, I think it only had 3. Does the bind off add enough to make like 4? Because I don't want it to look like this side is bigger than the other side. I don't know, I'm new to knitting, so yeah, I am working these with my size 9 Dream interchangeable tips of Knitter's Pride, and they are on a short cable. What do we think this is? I think the shortest one was the 24, which the 24 would be from tip to tip with the cable, if I understand. I was looking at this stuff on Amazon and trying to make like a wish list of all the things that I need that I don't have, but I don't really need. And so I was trying to figure that out. Yeah, that one's on the shorter cable, I think. Maybe not the shortest. I don't remember. But since it's in the round, it didn't really matter. And I don't know. I need to have the kids tell me what kind of yarn that is. I'm assuming that this is just acrylic or polyester, because that's kind of what it feels like. What you didn't see was the fact that I have gotten up. Well, I recorded a bunch, then Jeremy came home, and I have stopped because I needed him. Well, I wanted to know what my wand was for the later segment, and because of that, I got up, so I got my knitting. So we're just going to go ahead and insert this clip about the knitting with the knitting stuff, and then go on to the rest of the stuff. But this is that project that I was working on. That is from the yarn that I had won from my LYS's 10-year anniversary. So that's how it looks right now. Now, as a cowl and thing, they usually want you to make them like 10, 11. Jeremy, go please. Get the candy out of your bedroom.
I found an M&M thing that
you were sneaking into your room very loudly.
No, there's one. I was coming over to show you two M&M packets that are stuck together.
Anyways, so yeah, so this is how far I am. Now, they usually want you to do I don't know if I'll go to the full length, because like this right now fits really well. I'm only going to make this like neck warmer size, so I don't think I'm really going to want it to fold over. I mean, 'cause I could fold it now. I don't know. But this is already going to be nice and warm. I mean, the one yarn is just a bamboo, but the other one is wool, so I think it'll be plenty warm without being doubled up. But yeah, so that's I don't know what the pattern is, but I wanted to say it was like a linen rib, and then I realized that I'm working it back and forth instead of in the round, so I'm not sure how that affects, because I noticed some knitting, I don't know if it's just if you are in a, what do I want to say? If you're on an odd stitch count or even stitch count, if that makes a difference on how it lays out. But yeah, so this is back and forth instead of in the round, so it might not supposed to look like this, but this is how it looks. And that is on my size 10, which is just a starter needle. I assume they're acrylic, and my Knitter's Pride interchangeable, because that's what we use now that I have them. But yeah, so now going to cut and move on to chitters. While we were gone, I was able to get some spinning done at my dad's, and so this is currently, and now I'm going to have to take a break on this, and I'm super sad because I'm getting really close to getting done. You can tell that this bobbin is getting quite full, and I have maybe an ounce left of this Yoctober yarn. Of course, this is my Paradise Fibers yarn. This I bought separately off the site before I actually started doing the Fiber of the Month boxes. I believe I ordered this at the beginning of this year just because I had planned on using this for the Yarn to Tables Fiber Quest, and then I was actually able to fulfill this with other yarns, so I don't really need this, but I still really liked this colorway. Yeah, so that is Yoctober. I think it's about an ounce from getting done. But then we had our Paradise Fibers Fiber of the Month Club box come for November, and it's totally like, how do I say this? Time consuming. It was very well thought out and themed this month, and the theme was, of course, and I found this after I did my video. We are Harry Potter themed, and I don't know which name came on my envelope because they like to switch my account with me and my husband's name, and I'm always trying to switch it back to mine. But yes, we have our Harry Potter, and this was my wand, which you would have seen in my unboxing video. I don't remember what it is, but I do still have the slip of paper. So at some point, and maybe it'll just be in the description, I'll let you know what the actual variety is for this hook. Alright, this is an orifice hook, which I did pull this out, like my wheel is right here because I had to pull the October off of it. But this little knob goes into my wheel, and I think other people thread it differently, but I just thread the rest of it through the machine by myself. And then you use this orifice hook, sorry, got my hair in there, and you stick it through this little plastic knob. And this is actually, it came with two of these knobs, and this one is the one with the smaller hole. And so I'm happy that it even fits my smaller one, because I looked and I could not find my bigger one. But yeah, this is what it does, and then you pull the fiber, let's see, where did I put my October. So you thread it through the machine, and then you would use like this end of your fiber. You would pull it through, like this goes inside the machine, but you would pull it through like this, and then since this is in the machine, I know I don't have it with me, or it's hard to hold it up so you could see, but yeah, you would pull it through, and then that would slide into the machine so that it can feed. But I just thought you might like to see that, to see what those, because I know a lot of people thought they were crochet hooks, and that's even what my husband said on the video, but I'm like, that's not a crochet hook. It's a way too grippy and not like polished and smooth. Somebody said, oh, it's too blunt, but I think you could still crochet with that if you really wanted to, but yeah, it's an orifice hook. And I think in my unboxing video I say my crochet bag, but actually I meant my spinning bag, which, where did I put that? It was up here. Oh, right here. This is what my spinning wheel goes in, and even though this does fit in here, like lengthwise, it is big enough to go in it. And this is just a cooler that I found on clearance at the end of summer, but it fits my spinning supplies in it like just perfectly. And even though this would fit in here, I'm really afraid that if I took it around I might break it. So I think I'm just going to keep the crochet hook that I already have in there, and I'm going to put this in my drawer that's over there. And so when I'm spinning, because I spin right next to that end table when I'm in the house, so I think I'm just going to put this in that so that I have it when I'm in the house but don't have to worry about breaking it when I'm not in the house. Okay, so slight break. I'm going to pick up this stuff so that it's away. So yeah, so since they are doing this theme thing, we got, and I think this is the fox. I need to have the kids tell me what my little paper says. But I'm guessing fox. I could be wrong. A lot of people that got into the same house as me have fox. But I was thinking that this would go really well with this. Any opinions there? This is actually the fiber that I got with the knitting needle sizes tips that I had bought in, the Dreams. I needed just a couple more dollars to use up my $20 gift card. And so I had gotten this because it's, you know, a couple dollars, and I really like the darker wools because I'm weird and unusual and don't want to dye things if I don't have to. But I really thought that these might be a really good mix together. And I was thinking also, I got those llama fibers from the Minnesota Shepherd's Harvest Festival, and if I did a 3-ply, I could even ply that with it because they're kind of like caramely brown colors. I thought that might even be a really pretty mix too. But this is supposed to be 2 ounce. I think this is a heavy 2 ounce. by my guess because this is 4 ounce. And it's definitely more, this is definitely more than this, but this is probably not half of this, if that makes any sense to you. But yeah, so that's what I was thinking of doing with my, and this would be my, what do you call it? Sorry, I really like Harry Potter, but I'm not good on all the special terminology since that's something I would have to see to really connect in my head. But your special animal was what was this bag. And I think mine is a fox, because I think that's kind of an orangey color. And then, because they have to get us so over, right up next to the holidays, they have to get us consumed with something. They should have, where did I put it? Oh, there it is, right in front of me. That's why you can't find it. So I think I was in the, I'm not going to be able to say it. I'm in this house. I don't know which way the sticker goes, or I guess little paper tag. That is my house. And my hands are probably in the way, sorry. I could say it if the computer was right there. But this is how pretty this is. And yeah, they should have given this to us for like tour de fleece time, because that would have been a little better timing wise. Because then we're in Christmas and we're supposed to be doing Christmas things, and instead we're doing these. They want us to have this spun up basically by the 15th of next month. And I'll be honest, I don't know if I've spun any of my fiber of the month. I've got it in piles waiting for me to spin. Oh no, I did. I spun the, what I called the China Sea. That was a fiber of the month. Is the Peter Iredale color? Yeah, I think it was the Peter Iredale. So I did spin something from my fiber of the month boxes. But, yeah. So I need to start spinning this like ASAP. So that is why I took the other one, my October, off the wheel, because yeah, I need to free a bobbin too. So I have my stuff that's on the bobbin in front of me so that when we're talking I can try and unspin that a little bit. But I know they wanted us to kind of share how we plan on spinning this, but I don't really know how to spin other than, I think it's long draw, short draw. I think I do short draw. I don't think I do long. But yeah, I don't know. I might divide this so it's, because the October I did not divide, and I find it's getting a little bunched up on itself. So I might divide this and make it 2, and then I can actually like split it into 2 plies without actually thinking about it. We'll see. But yeah, that is my house cup blend. And this is all for the spinning cup. Sorry for that little break there. I dismantled my spinning wheel and I didn't want parts to get lost. So, not that I couldn't have put it back together off camera. And I still don't know where I put my little knob that I was showing you with the orifice hook. But that goes right here. Which, see, you feed the fiber. Oh, now if I can spin it. You feed the fiber through here, and it comes out here, and then that little knob goes in here, which, if I could find it, I would put it in, just so I don't lose it. But, of course, it's around me, but not close enough that I can find it. Did I put it in the bag with the October? No. Oh, there it is! Success! Yeah, that just goes right there. We don't want to lose it, so that's, and then the bobbin is what's normally on here, and then this little thing goes around that bobbin. But yeah, so I will be spinning my house blend on this. I probably won't be spinning my spirit animal, or whatever you want to call it. Familiar? I don't know. Those are just easier words for me to say than what it actually is. But yeah, so, oh, I don't know what I did with my house card. I don't think I put it back in the bag. Oh. Anyways, so that is how I will be spinning it, because we're supposed to share that information. I think just in the thread, but I thought I'd do it here for you too, just in case you were curious. And I think that is going to do it for the actual like works in progress and other things. The other thing I do have to share with you And again, just like you see all the other podcasters do, fiber in my face and everywhere. I have the things that I need to be working on or that I need to do so I can work on other things. And I have my, this was actually, I think it was I don't know what was wrong with it, but it was not a perfect Hagrid colorway for the Bad Wolf Girl Studios yarn. And I need to finish untangling this and get it wound into a cake. But yeah, it kind of fell apart on me and isn't being easy to wind up into a cake. So I use these to wind my cakes. And all this is I sell 4-inch wide satin ribbon. And although I don't currently have any up in my shop because I need to do some major shop maintenance and I'm too busy to do it. But these come from that, and they have this tab thing here that I've actually broken off. Actually, my other thing I'm working on is the actual spool. So this is what they're actually like, but I can break, it'd be this side. I can sometimes get these off. This one I can't, but I'm just using that to hold, excuse me, my spinning fiber. But I use those because I can pop it off of the end of this if I can get that top removed. Of course, that one I won't be taking off of the spindle, so that's why it's on there. But I need this little bobbin, I guess, spindle thingy open because I need to wind this, which is this was one of the yarns that I got at the Minnesota Sheep and Wool Festival back in May. And this is my Angora, and I need to get this wound up. So I think I'm going to make fingerless mitts, maybe fingerless mitts and a hat. Anybody? Any opinions? Hands? You know? That's my thought. Anyways. That was one of the things I need to work on. Also, sorry, I have troubles with greens and blues, so I'm gonna need to get these both out so I can tell. And the lighting's terrible in here. Okay, I think that this is the sea turtle, which I wanted to make something for my mom with, and this is a Leading Men Fiber Arts. I wanted to make something for my mom. I was thinking like a cowl because I have already made her 2 shawls. So I'm thinking I'm gonna make her a cowl so she has something to wear around her neck for the winter and not have to. My thing is I love cowls because to me they are so much more practical. Oh, I lost my shawl. They're so much more practical than a scarf because they don't fall off. And yeah, way big proponent of, you know, to me to use it. And this is a fingering weight, which they're all fingering weights, which isn't really super warm except for, I think this is the MCN base. I could be wrong, but I think that's MCN. So that would be warm because it's got the cashmere. This will be warm because it's got the Angora, even though it's a fingering weight. And I could always hold this double and make it DK weight, which would be a little thicker. And then this is the How You Doin', which my husband did not understand was a Friends reference. Colorway, also by Leading Men Fiber Arts. Okay, I assume it's a Friends reference. I don't really know, but I believe it's How You Doin' with no G, and so I assume that it's a Friends reference. And this was the yarn my husband picked out. I do think that this was the heavy skein, so there's 140 grams maybe, and this was the yak base. So this was also one of my options for the Yarn to Table podcast. And this final section, leg of the year, is rare breeds, so yak and Angora were both things that we could pick from for this section, and the most common, and the ones that I have. So yeah, that's things that I need to be getting started on. So any pattern tips, guys? I am very open to suggestion on things. I eventually will go out and look for myself and just start something, like I did on my husband's cowl. Which, yeah, he'll probably be getting 2 cowls, but like I said, the one is fingering weight, the other one is DK weight. So they will be, you know, different times of years that will be better. The one has the yak in it, which will make it super warm, and the other one is just 100% merino, I think. So it won't be quite as warm, I think. I could be lying, but I think that the yak is warmer than the merino. But yeah, did I get through? Oh no, I have more stash acquisitions. So this I did not buy. I got one of my, this was kind of one of those things that got lost in the shuffle. Oh, I didn't share. So I, on my knitting, I have my little, one of my little progress keepers, or not progress, these are stitch markers for knitting. I have my coffee bean thing from Silver Luna 123, or Silver 1222? Silver, I can't remember what your string name is now, but it's from Silver Luna, or Silver, and that was one of the prizes that I had won back at the beginning of the year. That kind of got lost in the shuffle, and then when I got that, I thought it was actually this, but I just received this one. And this was for her 2-year anniversary. She doesn't have a ton of subscribers, so it might look like I'm winning a lot, but that's because I'm competing with, well, roughly like 4 other people on a regular basis, and she's an awesome giving, like, individual. So yeah, I won this on this half of this year. And I just got it in the mail and super excited and trying to figure out, I really wanted to break into this right away when I got it, but I have all this other stuff laying in front of me that's gonna come first. But yeah, thank you, Silver, if you're watching. I told you to start watching because I'm doing actual video and knitting, but we'll see. I don't even have one of my knitting projects. I'm guessing it's in the bassinet. Yeah, I still have a bassinet because it's just kind of the catch-all for all the, it's my crap. Back there. I'm guessing that it got thrown back there because I haven't seen it otherwise. Okay, so I think the other big acquisition, I did have it down here yesterday, but it's back up there because the babies got into it. It actually, I put it back yesterday and they still got it into it up where it is, so I'm going to have to find another home. I'm probably just going to take it down till it's Advent time. But I got my Advent calendar. I did take an unboxing video of that, so I hopefully will get that up for you. And yes, I'm pointing to it. I can see it from here. I got my Advent box from Pineapple Yarns, which she does have her own YouTube channel, which is how I discovered it. And it is a beach-themed Advent calendar. And we got our beach progress bag, or beach-themed Christmas project bag, which has Santa and fishes on it. And that, I was glad to see that it wasn't in one of the little boxes, so I didn't have to wait to see it. And she even said on her podcast that she can't blame anyone for having to break into things early. If I have to get into something, I will consider that permission to not use it for Advent, but yeah. I'm one of those people that can probably wait and use it as an actual Advent calendar and not have to break into it right away. But I was super excited that my project bag was not in one of the present boxes. They're so cute. They're just like little, I don't know, they're little white boxes. I should have just taken one of those out of the box and brought it down here, but I didn't. But we had that. The bag comes with a cute little pineapple progress keeper. And what else? There's cute little paper umbrellas in our little information, along with some seashells, and I think there's another shell progress keeper, and I can't remember, maybe some like river rock or sea glass, I can't remember, stuff like that were in our little goodies that were visible that I didn't have to open up. And I did opt for the season skein thing. And Jeremy, I'm recording like I tried to do yesterday, so don't run in front of me. I'm going to restart. Yeah, you just missed the really disgusting like water fiber I hacked out of my lungs from the stuff that I'm messing with. Hopefully there's no more, although it's irritated now. Jeremy came home. I recorded the little knit segment, and now Sam is due to be home anytime. Although I did have Jeremy go and read me what my wand is, and my wand is a willow wand. There we go. A willow wand with a camel down core, which all the different wands have. Basically different woods and then different fiber cores. And then while talking to you, I am trying to unspin something from one of my electric eel bobbins because I need that so I can start my house blend. The bobbin, that is. Excuse me again. The weather turned really, really fast here, and we have actually a little dusting of snow on the ground right now. I don't think it was actually on the ground, it was on the deck, because I got to let the littles go and play with the little dusting of snow that I could scrape up off the deck this morning. But yeah, so this last weekend, we got to go back to where I grew up. It was my brother's 30th birthday. My brother and my mom's birthdays are both in November, and we just happened to get to see them. It worked out that we could go out for my brother's birthday weekend. And so while we were there for that, he was back there because he wanted to celebrate his 30th back home, because he lives down in Kansas now. But while I was there, I got to meet up with a Blue Jay Crochet, which is Michelle or Shell, and we met up at the mall down in Davenport, and that was super lots of fun. I'll insert. Play with your balloons. Yeah, balloon? Uh-oh. Leo, you lost yours. Say thank you. So yeah, they went ahead and got the kids all one of those punching balloons, because apparently they sell those at the mall now and blow them up for you. It was kind of by the little, they had a train set up. I assume that was part of the, well, I assume it'll be the Christmas village. I don't know if it was actually all the way set up, because, you know, I can't see, so I don't know exactly what it was themed. But yeah, so we were there, and they got all the kids that, and so that was us in the shoe store, and Shell was looking for new work shoes since she's just started a new job, and my husband found the shoes that he has that he couldn't find in cool colors, and they actually mailed them to us because they didn't have his size in the store, and they're like, oh, well, we can ship it. And my husband's like, oh yeah, well, I live in Des Moines, so they're like, oh no, we ship for free. And he's like, well, then. And they were even cheaper than the pair that he had gotten here, but he had to get a new pair of shoes right away because he had worn 3 of his shoes. He's really super hard on shoes. But anyways, so we were supposed to meet up with Shell to eat lunch and then go to Joann's, but I swear everything that could go wrong absolutely went wrong that day. So it started off that my husband gets these like allergic reaction things that he doesn't even know what they are. I think they're kind of anxiety induced, but I'm not even for sure on that. And so he got one of those before we were going to leave, and then he decided that the night before that he wasn't going to get gas on our way into town, and so then we had to go get gas when we were, you know, supposed to have left 10 minutes before we actually left. So we had to get gas. Then when we were driving on the way down there, where Shell lives is, well, she lives in the big city, and my family lives, well, my dad lives across the river in Illinois, and then my mom lives in the city that's kind of the biggest thing over there. But when we were on our way down to the cities, is what we call it, we hit a funeral procession, like, you know, going the other way, so we had to pull over and wait for it, and of course that had to last forever. Like, the only thing that didn't go wrong was the fact that the car actually did not break down, and we did not get pulled over, like, by a police car, I guess. And then my husband had to pee. My husband never pulls over to go pee on the way down to the cities, but this time he had to pee really, really bad. Oh, it was a comedy of errors day, for sure. But, so, they ate without us, and then we ate, and then we pretty much met up after that. But, yeah, so we got together, we went to the shoe store, because that's at the mall, and then we went over to Joann's, and I was a good girl, I did not buy any yarn. Shell, I don't even remember if you bought yarn. I think you bought some card making supplies or something. But I had gotten, and actually I didn't bring those in to share, I had gotten some new punches for the boys. They had some on clearance, so we got them a new butterfly because that's one of the ones they use pretty heavily, and it's always nice if I can have two of the same punch because then Sam and Jeremy can both use a punch. And then we got what my husband calls the smiley ice cream emoji, or otherwise known as pile of poop. So yeah, he found that punch in the clearance bin, so we got each of those for them. They were like $6.50 or $7.50, and then I don't know if the coupon worked. Oh, now I broke my string. I don't know if the coupon worked on those or not. But there was, at that time, the Joann's had their 25% off your total purchase or 20% off your total purchase coupon. But like I said, I'm not for sure that it was sale on regular price items. I highly doubt that included clearance, so. But yeah, that was all we got. Oh no, he also got a styrofoam skull that he wants to put in his carvable pumpkin, which I wish him luck on. So yeah, I didn't actually get anything, just the boys, and my husband got things. I did look at a few things, but I was a good girl because I knew that there was the Stranded Dye Works update that actually was today, because I'm recording on Friday. I tried to record yesterday on Thursday, but that didn't work. And yeah, but yeah, it was, well, we'll get to the Stranded update in a moment. I knew I wanted to save up for the Stranded update, so I did not get any yarn, and yeah, it was really fun. And Julio, you do not get to blame Shell or give her any grief for her yarn stash. Guys, her husband actually taught her to crochet, and then he asked me, he's like, so, do you have piles of yarn? And I'm just like, how do I answer that? Because, or do I have a pile? I don't remember how he phrased it, but I was just like, I don't have one pile, dear. I have, like, drawers of different types of yarn. Like, I have these fabric drawer things that I got at Hancock when they were closing stores or going out of business. Did they go out of business, or did they just close stores? Or has it Ben Franklin? I don't remember, because it was not a store that I usually went to over here. Like, I didn't even know it existed until it was going out of business. But I have carts over there, and I think Sam's home. And I have Simply Soft in one. I have, like, some Karen 1 pounds in one. Actually, there's Simply Soft in 2 of those. I have a drawer in the bedroom that is my cotton. I have another drawer in the bedroom that is my wool. Like my wools that I was using back when I was doing the cat toys and things, which I can still do, but I just, it's been a lot to keep everything organized with the madness after the move, which was 2 years ago, 2.5 years, almost 3 years ago now. But yeah, I have not gotten back to getting organized. I have like another box that is just Lion Brand homespun. I have a tote downstairs that is Lion Brand 1 pound. I have other just random things I've gotten from people. And then I have next to my computer like a box of stuff I would like to go through. I have all my stuff that is like my this year purchases, which is almost all of it is indie dyed yarns. But yeah, there's not one pile of yarn here. There are several. But yeah, Julio, if you're watching, women are collectors. I mean, some might say that we probably push the envelope to hoarders, but yeah, we are collectors. So you teach us to do something, we are probably going to collect so that we never have a fear of not being able to do it. But yeah, so that was my day with Shell. I guess it was a couple hours. And then we had our not so fun adventure at Red Lobster, Which, to the lady who gave us dirty looks because our 2-year-old was screaming when he smashed his head on the tabletop. Well, for one, you were with 2 other people. My husband noted that you all were wearing wedding bands. And yeah, so I think he said something about how romantic of a birthday dinner can it be when you're with 2 other people, or unless, you know, there's some kind of threesome going on. I don't remember. He said something. It was hilarious. And, yeah, but she kept giving us dirty looks. Our food was really good. The problem was that we waited over 2 hours to get a table. We were told it would be an hour wait, which on a Saturday night we were totally willing to do. It was my brother's birthday dinner, and that was where he wanted to go because, you know, we wouldn't have gone there because I can't even remember the last time I've been at a Red Lobster. But that was where he wanted to go, so that's where we were going to go because they had the all-you-can-eat shrimp fest going on. And so, yeah, Sam is huge into shrimp. I do love shrimp, but I wasn't going to pay the money to have the all-you-can-eat because, you know, I know I don't need to eat that much. And I did get to sneak a few bites from my husband, so that was good enough for me. But yeah, we were told an hour. After about an hour wait, there was this group of other people that came in that I think were getting the party room. And I think after that hour, they thought that we were with that other group. And so there was, I think, an hour and a half in, and my dad or somebody went in out and asked when they thought there would be a table, and they just kind of gave him the, I don't know, kind of thing, and like he went out to the car and waited until we got a table because he was just kind of ticked off at that point and just there because my brother was there, or that's where my brother wanted to be. And then at 2 hours in, they got a table and we're still sitting there, and then all of a sudden my husband gives the hostess, because my husband's worked in like restaurant-y type work before, so he knows how this stuff works, and we usually don't try to make a fuss or anything because, you know, we understand, but, you know,
Yeah.
it's been 2 hours. Sam, I'm talking.
Okay.
But yeah, it was 2.5 hours before we got drinks. So Leo has been for 2.5 hours without anything to drink. They did get us like a cheddar biscuit that they got to eat while we were waiting. So at least he wasn't like dying of hunger, but he didn't even have anything to wash it down with for 2.5 hours. So I'm like, I wonder, to that lady who kept giving us dirty looks because our poor little toddler was screaming at her birthday dinner, if they had taken her food and drinks away for 2.5 hours, if she would have given us quite the same kind of look. Because at that point, I'm like, dude, there's nothing I can do now. This kid has been waiting 2.5 hours. He's been relatively good up to this point. I mean, they wanted to run around the restaurant, but, you know, they haven't been screaming, really. They hadn't been crying up to that point. I mean, come on, guys. There's only so much I can do. And, yeah, maybe if you actually took the time to think about what other people went through to get there, you wouldn't be quite so grumpy. But yeah, so she was the annoyance. Brought my string out. I am breaking this all over the place. I might have to respin this, which it's like super fine, and yeah. So anyways, that was my Saturday over with my family, and not fibery knowledge at all, except for the fact that I had to tell you about the lady who gave us dirty looks because a 2.5-year-old, or a 2-year-old is not allowed to throw a fit after 2.5 hours. Yeah, not gonna happen. So anyways, back to our yarn related things. So Stranded did her update today. That's one reason I'm not recording till now, because I had to get on the update. I did get yarn. I actually have 2 orders. So I think she's going to, from what I gathered from the podcast, put them all together. But yeah, my original order, did I finish? Oh no, there's still a little on here. From my original order, I got nothing that I wanted. Basically, by the time I got my computer to agree with me, all the bases of the things I wanted were gone. I had the Ocean Rainbow in the DK weight. I don't remember which DK, but I want to say it was BFL DK because I really like the BFL curling. I did finish! Now I can spin my, what should you call it? My house cup. So I got Ocean Rainbow on Aran weight, which there was only 4 left, and so I got all 4. I really want a sweater, and as you know, I'm sorry if I'm off camera, I'm trying to tighten the screws. 400 grams of Aran weight in crochet isn't going to make it super far. Now, I was going to maybe possibly entertain the thought of saving that and knitting with it, but I was able to go back in and order, and I did get another 3 skeins, so if it works, otherwise one of the babies might be getting, well no, because I think there was pink in it, maybe it wasn't enough to be super noticeable. I did get another 3 skeins in the Naive Watercolor colorway. Say that 5 times fast. Which was also on the Aran base. In the description it says it's a toned down or like lighter, I think is basically what it is, a version of the Ocean Rainbow. So I was thinking if it works, I can stripe that with the Ocean Rainbow, and so I have what I really wanted was like a pullover, and so I should, I think, be able to get a striped pullover, but that actually will probably be coming to me as a Christmas present, so shh, don't tell them that I ordered my Christmas present today. But also, when I went back later after the Mad Rush, I did not get any fiber, guys. Well, she didn't have it labeled well. So I typed in fiber into the search because I thought that would be the easiest way. Well, it didn't come up in a category on the side either, like before. It came up in a category on the side when she still had some fiber. Although I think it was sold out. I don't remember now. There was a fiber on there when I originally looked and created my account for her site, so I'd be set up for today. But then today it wasn't there. And so I had typed in fiber and nothing came up in the search. And so later, after I'd gotten my original yarn, I had gone and was looking, and I could find it if I searched BFL, because I knew one of them had BFL in it. And yeah, so basically by the time I got to look for it, there was none of the fiber left, and I was bummed, because I really wanted one of her hand-dyed fiber braids. But other than my pullover, maybe, striped sweater colors, I got a skein of Pinata in the BFL nylon sock yarn because I love my BFL socks, and so hoping that I will get to use that for a pair of socks for me. And then I also got a color of her Bras Off the Clock colorway, which was her special charity thing from back in the summer when they had the Dyer Collective thing going on. And so I did get a skein of that. It is also in the Aran weight because I had tried, that was one of the ones I had tried to get other bases of before, but they were always sold out by the time I got to the checkout. There was also like the Batman colorway that I was kind of hoping that I could get because that would work really well for the boys. But a lot of her colors have pink in it, and it's just like, pink just doesn't work for the boys. There was like, what was it? Firecracker that I thought might be okay, but still I was just like, ugh, if it just didn't have the pink. But I guess that can be some interpretation too, because there's also House something, and that also had like red and burgundy, but I think it's still listed pink in the colors, and I'm like, ugh, I don't want pink. But yeah, so that was my stranded. I was there at 1 o'clock, refreshing actually at, well, 12:59 here, 7 p.m. there, well, 6:59, refreshing, and still did not get my, I wanted the Ocean Rainbow in the DK weight because that would stretch a whole lot farther. than the Aran weight, but I know I can because actually I wore it yesterday, and so, I was wearing my Montreal sweater jacket thing, and that is out of 400 grams of worsted weight. So I'm like, I could make something out of 400, but I really, really, really want like a striped pullover, something that I can wear over just like a basic t-shirt and not even think twice about. So hopefully I can stripe those together and they'll look awesome, and we'll just have to wait and see, and you'll probably have to wait till after Christmas because like I said, I'll probably get it and I'll probably give it to my husband to hide from me. Because that's what we do here. We buy our own presents and then hide them from each other. But yeah, so that was Stranded. And I talked to you about getting to meet Shell from Blue Jay Crochet. Another thing that I want to talk about was the Sticks and Strings Retreat has opened up their registration, so I am super excited about that. If you don't know, that was the first fiber retreat, well, really so far the only fiber retreat that I have been to. It's being held like 2 miles, if that, from my house. That's really super close to my house. And if the road behind me ever actually opens, they're widening it. So if it actually ever opens back up, it's like down the street, basically. Although it's quite a bit down the street. But yeah. That retreat is near me. And Shell, if you want to go to that retreat, you can totally stay here. Although I know that's you probably don't want to stay at some strange lady's house, but yeah, we totally live within driving distance, and it's in the end of February, so the weather can be iffy. But again, it's like you go down the gravel road. I know it sounds funny that it's gravel. I'm sure before too long it's going to be paved, but you just go to the main road, which is a 1/4 mile on the gravel, if that. It's not really that far anymore. But you take the main road and then try straight for whatever miles it is, basically, to the intersection where the hotel is, if that's open. But yeah, I went to it this last February. It was great fun. That's where I got my first indie dyed yarn at, and where I got to meet the Silver Shed USA. Guys, I did not know that that's who that was, that everyone already has bags from her, and I was like totally idiot around her. But that's Ann Brody. She is based in Iowa, so that is why she was at the fiber retreat, you know. Yeah, feel stupid now, but yeah, that was the first fiber retreat I went to, so I have every intention to go back there. It will probably have to wait till after Christmas for me to actually make my registration, but they are so awesome that they have pre-registration open until like end of January, so it's like a month ahead of when the actual thing is, so I'm super excited for that and have every intention to go. I think I might make my sister at least pay half of my registration fee, because for our gifts she does, I take all of my family out to a movie, like my sister, my brother, my sister's kids, and then any of the grown-ups that actually want to show up, which my mom, if she can, will be there. My dad's a little more hit and miss on that kind of thing, like the movies. But we take everyone out to a movie. She gives me and my husband, she'll pay for us to go do something. So this year she actually has gotten out of paying for something. Sarah, you owe me. But I think half of the registration, because I not only get the 3-day, because it's Friday night, Saturday day, and then Sunday morning. I go for the entire time, or I did, and then I also get the goodie bag, which I think is $40. So she can buy a little bit of, she could basically buy my goodie bag and then like one of the days, right? She can pay part of it, because Friday and Sunday are super cheap, and then Saturday is, because Saturday, I guess she could buy the goodie bag and lunch, because lunch is like 20-some bucks. It might be up this year. But, you know, that's a cost, and then the goodie bag is $40. So, Sarah, that's what you have to look forward, not that you actually watch me. But, yeah, So I'm super excited. That's Sticks and Strings. And sadly, my one friend that does, she likes fibercraft. She's more into sewing, but she can crochet. She's given me a bunch of yarn and stuff because she doesn't really plan on getting back to it. But she has a women's retreat for her church. That's that same weekend, so she can't go with me, even though she would. And then, yeah, so the only person I really have to go with me is my husband. And so hopefully this year we can kind of pull some more strings where he doesn't have to pay full admission, since he's not really there for the fiber goodness. He's just there to be my chaperone. Or what did they call it last year? I think my assistant, and they said something else. I'm like, oh, that's perfect terminology, but now I can't think of what it was. But yeah, he's my special assistant, so maybe this year we can kind of get that situated again. That's what I'm looking forward to for 2019. I also would really, really like to do the Knitting at the Estate with Leading Men Fiber Arts, which is over in Illinois, which the only way I can do that, well, first off, they are doing their entries by lottery. So not only do I have to wait for January to even find out if it's, you know, a chance of me going, but you have to win the lottery to get a spot. And I'm still trying to figure out what I'm going to do for that because, of course, again, my husband's not, he'll entertain me, but he's not fibery. I mean, he likes to look at the stuff, but he thinks I might be a little obsessed. I can't imagine why, but he's known that the entire time we've been together. There's been no shame of me being a crocheter. Although he does call my crocheting my granny art, whereas my knitting is my trendy. He says, and now I'm trying to be trendy, and he doesn't know what to think because I usually just look like a grandma, and now I'm looking trendy. But yeah. I told you we were going to run long. So yeah, my camera cut off on me. And then I started talking before I got seated. So yeah, sorry, the camera turned off because it does have a I wouldn't think a blogging camera would still have that shorter battery length, or not battery, but timer on it. And I've cut this a couple times, but apparently I'm too chatty with you, which I warned you. Don't tell me I didn't warn you this was going to be a long one. But back to the Knitting at the Estate. It's in September over the baby's birthday, but that kind of works because it's in Illinois, so I can drop all the kids off, hopefully with my dad and other grandparents, and then we can go, and my husband can take me over there. But I'm thinking I'd have to stay off-site so that my husband can be there and then can kind of drop me off and pick me up on the days of the stuff. But then there's the whole, how am I going to be able to do stuff once there? So that's kind of at the point where I'm at now, and I'm not really going to worry too much about that until it comes to the time that I actually win a spot in the lottery. But I'm definitely going to try to win a spot in that lottery, because my plan is to try to kind of introduce a thing each year. So this year I did the retreat with Sticks and Strings. So next year I'm hoping to add in the Knitting at the Estate. There's also a retreat at the yarn store that's not too far from here that was just a couple weeks ago, but it's kind of over Halloween, and Halloween time is really big for us with the kids. So I don't know if I'll ever actually make it to that retreat. That one's kind of on the list, and I don't really know how big of an event that is. When I was looking up stuff about Whimsical Wood Yarn Co., I think that's what it is, I saw that there was a retreat in Omaha, and so yeah, there's just a lot of things. But you know, I've got 4 kids, so my time that I can get away is fairly limited. But yeah, Sticks and Strings, definitely gonna go because it's right down the street. And I think, finally, that is all I have to share with you. I did have the bells to do a nice little jingle for our Seasons of Giving and Spiral Along, but the babies broke into my bag yesterday and took my bells. Well, in all fairness, it was their toy, It's one of those music maker toys, like in the maracas, and then it was like a bell, like a bracelet with bells on it. So it is their toy, but it made such a great jingle that I really wanted it. That's separate from the bells that I used before, but it was such a nice bell that I was just gonna reach over and jingle for you. But they took their toy, and I don't know where they put it. But we do have the Inspire Along, or the Seasons of Giving cowl going on. I have not checked the thread. I'm sure there are more lovely things going up in it. I've just been kind of consumed with getting other things done. WTF Knitting is also doing a gift along. Somebody else was too. There were a couple that I just found out about. Yeah, some of, you know, they all have some different rules. Oh, who was it? There's somebody, it's one of the ones that Pen Hook and Needles does and along with. I don't think Bee Wings, is it her along that was a crafting one? I said I would cross promote, and I haven't posted it in the thread yet. So sorry, I will get to it. It was in one of those groups that PH and Pen Hooks and Needles does stuff with, and I can't remember which one. That does not also have a podcast. It's just their Ravelry group. But she also is doing one, so there are at least 2 other threads. I will at some point get them linked up on that page so that you can find other alongs to post your gifting things to. Stranded is doing her festive sock along, so you can, if you're crocheting socks, you can put them in there, especially if you're gifting them, you can use them in the Seasons of Giving. There's some other, Corner of Craft. Panna is doing like a finish the things along thing, I think. And so anything you make that is gift, you could post in both of those. I mean, there are so many threads. Silver Luna has her ongoing year-long cowl of basically anything you make goes in there. Yeah, so guys, get on the making because there are places to post. And not that I don't enjoy winning things, but I always love to see my friends win stuff too. So yeah, I think that's it. I think we've covered everything. I'm sorry that this is so long and it's going to be kind of broken up because, yeah, I need to get to things, but yeah. For the social media jargon, you know, I am Hooked on Moes, HOOKEDONMOEZ, on Etsy, Facebook, and Twitter. And then Moes Crochet, MOESCROCHET, sorry, I'm forgetting my spellings, on Pinterest. I don't use because my computer doesn't work with it with my inverted colors. Instagrams, Ravelry, which is the one you want to know, Goodreads, which I don't update, and is that it for Moes Crochet? Yeah, and I do have the unseenstrands@gmail email address, and the kids shop is Moes Kids, which is MOESKIDZ, and that is on Etsy. They also have the Facebook page, and their shop is like paper die cuts and things. So for you guys, the fun one that they have is they have a mitten punch. It is not currently a tag, but we can, for a little additional cost, make it into a tag. But yeah, that's their shop, and they are saving up to get a Switch, so they would appreciate it if you might want to go over there and look around. I don't know if, I know the mittens aren't in the shop right now because they just sold those. There's also a stocking one. I'm not sure if that one's up. I think I just renewed the snowman punch. These are all ones they actually punch themselves that my husband doesn't help with. What else do we have? We have the smiley ice cream, or otherwise known as emoji poop. That is not listed, but I have. Just to give you ideas. There's also, I think, a hashtag one that is not listed, but we do have, that we got on clearance sometime over the last couple years. Because yeah, I haven't put new stuff in there because I've gotten really bad at updating. What were they? They do have a snowflake. It's just a small snowflake though. It's like 1.25 inches, or maybe it's just 1 inch. I think the circle is 1 inch, so maybe it's just under 1 inch. But yeah, they have a sleigh. There's another good holiday one, and reindeer. But anyways, guys, I've talked to you guys' ear off way too much, and I'm surprised the littles are still asleep. The bigs need to get work underway instead of playing video games. So, if you enjoyed this episode, I hope you hook the like button and subscribe. Talk to you later, guys.
It's cold out. 'Cause baby, it's cold. Baby,